you don't need to go through this code. So what you can do is, so here in your first line, when you declare your document class, you can just mention this file name IEEE tran over here. And what this does is it just gives all the commands and the formatting style used by that template. So here they give the some certain commands like begin abstract and begin IEEE keywords. And I'll recompile this so you can see how it looks. So if you can see, this is basic 2 column with the abstract in bold and some index terms. So it's whatever conference or journal you're submitting to, they provide their own custom keywords and templates, commands and templates, which you can just find online. So this is just an example. So in the first, now I'll be talking about presentations. And for presentations, you need to use the Beamer document class. It's already available. And see here, document class Beamer. And so there's several different themes available. So here I've commented all the themes, some of the themes that are available, and you can also use different color schemes. So see how this looks. And the color theme is orchid. You could change that to something else. To just comment it out, just add a percentage sign at the start and remove a percentage sign from any other one, depending on the theme you want. So I'll just change it to dolphin, and just change the theme to, and this one, Montpellier. So you see the style changes a bit, and so there's a lot of subtle changes. So you can just look, just keep compiling and see how each and every style looks until you're satisfied with one of them. So I'll go back to the previous style I was using. And here, so you can see at the top, there's the title. And here there's a footnote that's at the bottom of the slide, gives author name, organization, then this is the title of your project, today's date, etc. So if you want this to be displayed, you just need to, if you don't want this to be displayed, you just need to uncomment this line, set Beamer template foot line, and then it just removes it from every single slide. Some themes might not have this by default, so if you want to include it, then you have to add this line. So I'll remove this for now. And if you look at the Beamer documentation, there's all sorts of formatting options available, and it just modifies the style of the slide, etc. You can look at the documentation to find out all the different styles available. Uh, so these are all the packages I've used. General, so I think we already covered that yesterday. So first, let's talk about slides in Beamer. So in Beamer, when you create a slide, it's actually called a frame, not a slide. And you create typing /begin frame, and it should always end with a /end frame. So a frame is a bit different from a slide. So basically, when you're using PowerPoint, you would create several animations. Like one point would appear. You could make your points appear one by one, as such. So in a PowerPoint, that is just in one slide, but in Beamer, all that comes in one frame. But it creates, so if you have, say, point one appearing first and point two appearing second, in Beamer, that would actually be two different slides. In the first slide, the point two will not be there, and the second slide, point two will be there. So that's why it's called a frame in Beamer. And all the code you type within this frame is actually your whole slide with animations. So you'll understand this better later. So first, let's start with the title page. So there's several commands like slash title, subtitle, date, author, etc., which you can use, or and this just fills in the details. And then if you just type slash title page, it'll generate a title page with all of these information you provided. So here, if you can see, I've typed slash title development of blah blah blah, and if you see the slide generated here, that's the title. And then subtitle is my dissertation. It could be anything you want. Subtitles also here. Then you have slash author. You can use author 1 and author 2. Institute, IIT Bombay. Then here I provide date, and with the date I've added like which conference or what you're submitting for, and today's date, and the slash logo where I've added the IITB logo. Now within the square brackets here, you can see there's IITB, and here I've written my project. So if you enable the foot line, so here those details will appear in the footer, but the details which you enter in the square brackets will appear. So in case you have a really long title, then you don't want the whole thing to appear everywhere. So you could just shorten that out so that everyone knows what they're looking at throughout the presentation. And so once you entered all of these details, then you just slash begin document and then make a frame. So you just make start slash begin frame slash end frame, and then just type in slash title page, and all of these this slide gets generated. And slash centering is done so that it's just center aligned. And similarly for table of contents, within a frame slash begin frame and slash end frame, you just type in slash table of contents. So here frame title means the title of the slide. So here I've just put in contents. You could make it outline or whatever. So I just made it outline now. See, it became outline. And so you can, like how we created sections in the report or article, the same way you can create sections in your presentation, and whatever sections you create will be added to the table of contents. So here I've created 5 sections, and I'll show you how to get this transparency effect soon. Uh, but let's remove this for now. So if you type in just table of contents, it just lists out all the sections. But here, if I put in pause sections in square brackets, so what it does, it creates 5 different slides with each section highlighted one by one. So you can see if the first slide has objective highlighted, second slide has introduction and algorithms, blocks, references. So, I mean, if you can see here, this is the difference between a frame and a slide. So you just type in one line code here within a frame, but it created 5 different slides. And in PowerPoint, this would just be in one slide with animation. That's all. So if you want to get your sections, your outline one by one, then you can just use this pause sections within square brackets after table of contents. There is another thing you can do at the before your begin document. I included this section of the code. If you uncomment it, it says at begin section, put table of contents at the current section. So what it means is it'll bring out the table of contents at the beginning, at the start of every new section. So here I'm starting the new section objectives, and so table of contents is displayed right before objectives. Then next section is introduction. So right before introduction, the table of contents is displayed again, and the one that's being the section that's currently being displayed will be highlighted. So similarly, again, this goes on, algorithms, etc. So I'll comment this out for now. The shortcut to comment in overleaf is control slash. It's toggle. It's a toggle comment. So now let's get into this slide. So I've just titled it objectives. You could also give your frame a subtitle also, and just appear in small case below your main title. And here, what I've done is just to display, just to show you the animation effects. So in PowerPoint, what you would do is there'd be some effects like appear or disappear and such. So here, what you do is you specify the what slide you want your point to be in within these angular brackets. So here I'll remove this for now. So I have 4 points, and currently I haven't specified any animation. So it'll just come in one single slide, all the 4 points. Now, if you want this to appear point by point, what you could do is within angular brackets, put in 1. So what this means is this, the text objective 1 will appear in the first slide within this frame. And for each point, I put in, say, this is 3 and this is 4. So what I've done is I want this point to appear in the first slide, this point to appear in the second slide, this point to appear in the third slide, and the last one in the fourth slide. So now if I recompile, so you see the other points are dimmed out to the background while the main point is, which you're referring to, is highlighted, and it's divided into 4 different slides. Now you could mess around with this to come up with different options. So say you want some points highlighted in multiple slides. So if you minus or 2 dash, so what this does is slide till the end of the frame. So here I just put 1. So this means first point will be highlighted only in the first slide. And here I put 2 dash. This means it'll be highlighted from the second slide till the last slide. So you can see objective 2 is highlighted here, here, and here, whereas 3 and 4 are highlighted only once. So if you put 2 before, if you put the minus sign before the 2, it means till the second slide. So objective 2 is highlighted in the first and the second slide. You could also specify any custom range like 3 to 4, or you could specify different number of slides like 2, 4, etc. So this is one way to do it. If you wanted to apply to the whole list, so then after itemize itself within square brackets, you can put the tag. So what you do is within angular brackets, you put plus and minus. So this just applies it to everything. So what the plus means is objective 1 will be highlighted in every other slide, every slides from when it's highlighted. So before, when we just put 1, it was highlighted only in that slide. So what the plus does is it's just highlighting in every other slide also. So you can see objective 1, objective 1 and 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So now this is, I've showed how to do this with items, but you could also do it with plain text. So created a new section, introduction here, and created a new frame. So I'll remove this alert for now. So with plain text, there's another way to create without using the angular brackets. So what you could do is you could use /pause. And what this does is it just breaks this into 2 different slides at the pause. So see in the first slide, it breaks it. This is an introduction, and in the next slide, both the sentences are there. So if I remove this, both will come in one single slide. See, now it's in one single slide. So you could use slash pause here. So the difference between slash pause and using the angular brackets is that slash pause doesn't specify any slide number. So when using with text, you can also use this slash uncover. So now you know, so because of slash pause, this is split into two different two different slides, right? So what you could do is, if you want this to be highlighted in the first slide also, you can just do slash uncover and then specify which slide within angular brackets, and then put the text within flower braces. I think it should be. So I'm not sure exactly how this works. You should play around with the number, I guess, to find out how it affects the settings. I'll look into this again and get back to it. So now you see the previous points are actually dimmed out. So to change that, here set the set beamer covered transparent. So if you comment that out, by default it's invisible. And now if I recompile, see the other points are not visible completely. And if you make it transparent, then they're slightly visible. They're just dimmed out in the background. Now you can specify the opacity of your text. You here transparency is equal to I'm not sure if I should check the documentation for that, but you can specify the opacity you want over here. I think by default it is 70% or 30% or something. And so let's move on. Next thing is, sometimes you might want to display code or algorithms, and using plain text for that it doesn't look that good. So in Beamer, you can use this thing called verbatim. So start with the slash begin verbatim and a slash end verbatim. But you should note that for this, the frame should be specified as fragile. So within square brackets after begin frame, you just type in fragile. Otherwise, you get an error. And if you then you can just type out whatever algorithm you want within the verbatim, and it just comes in a sort of nice typewriter sort of font. It's more neater. And if you want to uncover the algorithm one by one, for that what you do is you use semi verbatim instead of just verbatim. So here I've used semi verbatim. And so if you want to uncover it line by line, so here I've just typed in slash uncover, and then I specify from which slide. So here one means from slide one till the end, and then this is the text within curly braces. So this is the text which I'll be displaying, that is int main. And then in the next line, I put uncover from the second slide till the end, see out hello world. So you can see both the lines are displayed now. And then last line is return 0. So if you want the line to disappear after the slide, you can just remove the dash, and then they'll disappear after the subsequent slides. So here I just remove the dash for int main, so it'll be only visible in the first slide. Then in the second slide, you can see it's dimmed out. So the next thing are blocks. So Beamer allows you to create three different types of blocks. And before blocks, I think I forgot to talk about alerts. Yeah. So you can highlight certain piece of text using slash alert, and then within flower braces, just type in the text. And what it does, it just highlights it in red. So, I mean, uh, it's used in presentations mainly instead of bold to grab the attention of the viewer, or just highlight it above all the other points. So you could also use these alerts with the tags. Like here, I just wanted to be alerted in third slide. So then, since I haven't specified any tags for the other points, uh, they're all visible in all the slides. So then you, in the third, and since I put 3 over here, it divides it into 3 slides. And you can see in the third slide, it's highlighted. And an alternative way to do this in your list. So say you had this sort of a list with 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you wanted point number 1 to be during the third point, while the third point is being shown. So then you can just do at alert. You put this vertical line, and then put alert at the rate, and then the slide number, which is 3 in this case. So this 1 minus means it'll be highlighted from the first slide till the end, and alert at 3 means it'll be highlighted only at the third slide. So you can see that it's alerted only at the third slide, when not in the others. So yeah, so now coming to blocks. So there are 3 types of blocks you can create. So one is uh, just simply block. So it starts with a begin block and an end block. And then the next other type is an alert block. So alert blocks are highlighted in red color. And then the next one is an example block. And you type in slash begin examples, slash end examples. And example blocks are in green. So here I just made a sample. I'll remove this transparency effects for now, so you can see them all in one slide. So these are the 3 different types of blocks that get created. And regarding the logo, you can actually make change the opacity of the logo in the settings initially itself if you think it's obstructing the presentation. Mm. So the effects which within the tags can also be applied to blocks. So what you do is you type in slash begin block, and then before you give a title for the block, you type in you just put the angular brackets and type in which slide you want it to be in. So here I'll just put 1, 2, 3 before. So we divided this into 3 different slides with uh, the corresponding one being highlighted. You could also change this to however you want accordingly. So here put 1 minus, which means that block will be highlighted throughout. So next thing is columns. So columns here, it starts with a slash begin columns and a slash end columns. And between this, you can specify the number of columns you want with the slash column. And then flower basis, you enter the column size. So for example, you could enter 1/ text width, which means the full length of the text. It's similar to how we entered images. And 1/text width means you'll get only one column in your page. So if you want two columns, make it 0.5/text width and 0.5/text width, or you could also specify in pixels or centimeter. And so here, see slash begin columns. Here I made a column of half the size of the frame, half the width of the frame. And then I just typed in some text. Then I created another column, slash column, and below that, I typed in another, some more. So I will create another column this way, but keep track of the size. So I'll just make this 0.3, 0.3, 0.3/text width, and then this is column 3. So you can see it created 3 columns now. And inserting images and tables and everything else is same, exactly the same as reports or articles. So here I could just do /begin figure. Everything comes automatically. Then I'll just include img2.jpg. Here I'll just width is equal to, since the column size is 0.3. The image came right now. And in Beamer presentations, figures are ordered as such. It just shows up as figure. So, but you could still give it labels, and if you're referencing it somewhere in text, you could just write it down using the label. And references are also exactly the same as reports or articles. So you could use /begin the bibliography, and then you just type in your citation references using a bib item, give them a label. Here I just gave name 1 and name 2. It could be any label name, and then this is your actual citation, and then /end the bibliography, and then to cite it in text, like as I've done here, you just do /cite, and then with respect to the label, just call the label name over here. So here name 1 is the first citation. So you can see this is column 1. And if you click on the number, it just brings you to the references. So there are actually in Beamer, there's different ways. Citations are not numbered by default. There's some certain themes and such you can get. For example, just provides a logo next to the citation. So here, what this does is set Beamer template bibliography item book. So what it does is it just sets the icon to book instead of a number. So you can see here in citation, the logo is now a book instead of like 1, 2, 3. If you want typical 1, 2, 3 instead, just keep this on, set Beamer template, bibliography item, text. By default, it is article. So if I comment all of them, see the icon is by default an article. So if you want text formatting, then you have to include this line. Yeah, so now it came in text. Now there are other ways to include bibliography For example, if you use any reference citation thing like Mendeley, uh, so here you have like a list of papers here, and then if you select your papers, here you get an export button, and then it just exports it as a bib file. So you can name it anything, references dot bib, and now if you open that file, so here I'm opening with Notepad. So you can see it's a whole list of references. So this is one single reference, and then this is the next one, and so on. So this is a huge list of references I have, and others, each part is a like abstract, ID, author, journal, month, etc. And so what you could do is you have to include the package bibliatex /use package bibliatex. You could also do it with uh, natbib. You could also use natbib for this. The only difference is the command being used. And I think bibliatex is the newer, a more newer version, so we prefer to use bibliatex. And then what you can do is here you just select upload and just upload this file, this bib file. And then what you have to do here is before your begin document, you do /add bib resource. And then you add, just type in the file name, references.bib. And then before your end document, just have to put /print. And if you compile of them, references will come. Now, overleaf is some program use /print bibliography and throws an error sometimes. So I think it has something to do with all these different fields. I don't accept all these fields and only some of these fields, so which is why it's throwing an error. I need to look into that more detail before I find out. If you're using any other offline editor, I don't think you should come into this problem. So now I'll talk about, so for posters, what you use is the document class is called TIKZ poster, TIKZ poster. And so you just specify /document class, TIKZ poster. And within square brackets, you specify the size of the paper. So usually posters are like A0 or A2 papers as such. And you can specify portrait or landscape mode and change your font size. So here I'll just zoom out. So there are different themes available for posters also. So here you can see the line /use theme. So TIKZ poster, this document class already has several inbuilt themes. Like desert is the one I've used here. If you just Google, you can find different themes. You can also find custom themes for this document class. So what they appear is as .sty files. I think sty stands for style, I guess. So custom themes come as .sty files. So what you would do is you would download this .sty file, and you would upload the .sty file over here, and then here you would just type in the name of the sty file instead. So coming back, So making the title is similar to how you did it for Beamer. So here we just added title, author, institute, etc. So same way for the poster. So here I just added poster title. Uh, Zoom in. So then author uh, date is not showing up for some reason. I don't think the date shows up in the poster by default. And institute. And then you just, once you begin document, you just type in slash make title, and this automatically comes in. And this package I just used, blind text, it just uh, types in some random bunch of text over here so that I can fill in the blanks. Just ignore that. So what you would do for posters is you would create blocks, right? And in Beamer, we saw how to create blocks. So in Beamer, what you did is you type out slash begin block. But for posters, you just type in slash block. And then within the first flower braces, you type in the title of the block. And then in the next flower bracket, you type in the text you want. So for example, here, I just give in block title, just type in introduction. So you can see this block got titled as introduction. And by default, the block you create will be sized over the complete length of the page. And what this command does is just typing out this random text. This is just an example. So I could just type in over here. So you see that gets printed out. So I just wanted to fill in some flags, so I just use that. And so you would also want to create several columns, and creating columns is exactly the same as how you did in Beamer. So what you do is you type in slash begin columns, and obviously it should be accompanied by a slash end columns. Then you type in slash column, and here you specify the size. By default, it's over the total length, total text width. So here I specified it as 0.5, so half the width of the page. And uh, here I created a block. Problem statement is the title, and then I introduce some text here. And then another block. I don't need this here. Then I created another block, some points, and then I'll create those points. And here in the next column, I created a block called objectives. And here I just put some random text. And like this, you could create more columns and keep going on. Here, this results and future work, etc. But so one thing you should note is that for this TIX poster document class, you don't insert figures using slash begin figure. So for TIX poster, what you do is for inserting figures, it should be slash begin TIX figure, and obviously slash end TIX figure. But the command to add the figure itself is the same. That is slash include graphics. I am slash include graphics and then the path to your image. So here you can see I just included one image. Then I've given some size and then the path name. So could be any image you have. And this gets printed over here. Yeah, so that's it. And if you, so you could also use LaTeX offline, of course. But if you're a beginner to this, then I recommend you to use Overleaf because the formatting and everything is very nice. So for example, you test type in slash any slash begin statement, and then it just fills in automatically and closes it with the flower bases. And if you type in slash begin figure, for example, it just gives all of these options automatically, which you don't have to worry about. So there are some offline editors, of course. The most popular LaTeX package manager uses MikTeX. You can download it from, you can just Google this MikTeX and it's the first link that comes up. And so what it is it's a package manager. So I'll open this and show you one. So you can see here we uh, included different packages using /use package, right? And normally, if you don't have to worry about whether this package is already installed or not. But if you're using an offline LaTeX editor, then you have to actually install those packages separately. So here, I clicked on packages and then you can see there's a huge list of packages that are available. And you don't want to install all of these packages because then the size becomes very huge and it's unnecessary, completely unnecessary. So you just usually install what packages you. And when you install MikTeX, it comes with the TextWorks editor. So this is how the TextWorks editor looks like. So you can see here, if I just type in /document class article /begin document. So you can see none of the formatting options are, it's not like a overleaf. You have to type in everything yourself. And then if there's an error, it'll be more difficult to spot if you're not used to this. So just save this. So, but once you're more familiar with LaTeX, then you could start using offline editors. And then, so TextWorks is very commonly used. And you just type in your document over here and then just press this play button to compile and it generates the PDF over here. Yeah, so that's it. I think I can take questions now.
Thank you, Nathan. So if anyone would like to clarify some doubt regarding the session today of whatever they have from yesterday's session, they may please come forward. Either they could drop it in the chat box or could unmute themselves and speak it out.
Yeah, hi.
Question like, can you repeat with the IEEE class package name once?
Yeah. So if you just Google IEEE templates, you get these things called CLS files. It'll be available for download. So here you can see, sure if it's visible. You can see this file is the IEEE tran.cls file.
Nithin,
What I
your
did,
screen
yeah.
hasn't come up yet.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, is it visible now?
Yes.
Yeah. So I download this file from the internet, IEEE tran.cls. Then what I did was I just upload it over here, just drag and drop. So I already have this file over here, so just cancel it. And then once it's here, what you do is you just open your text file, and then here in /document class, here you just have to enter the name of the CLS file. So here it's IEEE tran. So I enter exactly that, and this is case sensitive, so just should be exactly same. And so for this IEEE and for this class, for this document class, they have some custom commands. like begin abstract, begin IEEE keywords. The rest of the paper is same. I think they have one for appendix as well. So you see, if I just type in / begin abstract, yeah, it just comes in the typical abstract format. So I just copied some random text from Wikipedia, and there's also / begin keywords, and then you can just type in your keywords. And if you, wherever you download this file from, they'll have the list of commands. They'll list out whatever. So you don't have.
Okay, Nithin, thank you. I got it.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, when we write a report, there is an option that we can individually write the chapters and then compile them together, right?
What do you mean?
Like, in the sense, instead of writing or making chapters in one complete document, there is an option where we can create individual documents having individual chapters.
Yeah, you can
Can
do
you
that.
explain that in short?
Yeah. So I don't remember exactly. There's a package for that. 1 second. Just, yeah. So this package called PDF pages. Type that on over here. Use package PDF pages. Can you see this?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what you do is you create multiple text files, and then you could generate the PDF for it and save it. And what you could do is you could just add all the PDFs together. And to do that, just do / include PDF page, specify which page you want to include, and then specify the file name. File.
Okay.
And so one thing you should note that is the formatting might change. So there's this command called / this page style. So what this means is in your main text file, there'll be a page formatting being used, right? So here within this, you just specify this page style plain, and you'll be using the plain page style that was being used in your main document, and it'll apply that formatting to the PDF that you have included.
Okay. So when we are writing our reports, do you recommend doing this thing, or is it recommended to write it in the entire same document by making chapters?
If you have a really huge report with lots of images that are like 5-6 MB in size, then I would recommend separating it into chapters and such. Otherwise, it'll take a really long time to compile.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Or else this way is fine, right? Creating chapters and then
Yeah.
including
Otherwise, if it's all small size images and such, then you can just create it in one document itself.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Nithin.
Nitin, if you could kindly provide your mail ID to them, then they could ask their questions in case they have.
Yeah. I'll type it out in the chat.
Yeah.
I'll type it out in the chat.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. That'll do.
Nithin, yeah, so though
Yeah.
you have mentioned it, could you just comment on the debugging in the LaTeX work using overlay?
So here you see several errors, logs and output files next to the compile button. And So if you just open it, see here, incompatible package site. So it means this package does not exist, at least with overleaf. So you have to remove that line. Command already defined. So I don't know what this natvib. I don't know what this does, honestly. So, these are the ones in yellow are warnings. You can ignore them. Most of the time there'll be warnings for images like this image has gone over the margins, stuff like that. So you can ignore that. Most common types of errors you'll be facing is you would have forgotten a slash end, and so you see immediately everything becomes highlighted in red. So you know that you've forgotten that, or you might have forgotten a flower bracket instead. And when you've done that, it's highlighted at that line itself in overleaf with this red cross mark. And some other types of errors you might see is while typing out equations. So if you're typing out equations in text mode, you have to type it out between these two dollar signs, or you could also use a slash bracket within this sort of within this thing. And if you've forgotten to close this, then you'll get an error, or you might have typed out an equation without using that, just like this, is equal to mc square. So you get the error here that it must be inside math mode. So that means it should be within this dollar sign. And for some commands, you might get an error like this should be in the preamble of the document. What that means is it should be before your slash begin document. So, for example, if I put this line inside slash begin document, it cannot use in the preamble. So what this means is this line should be included before the slash begin document. So what's happening here is I think this package is so when you're using overleaf, you don't have to worry about errors as such because it highlights it automatically, so you find out immediately if there's an error or not. But if you're using this sort of a thing like TextWorks, then you have to find out yourself and be a bit of a struggle.
Yes, thank you, Nithin. So when it's like most of us are new to this, and when we are actually into this stuff, we will face more troubles. So that's
Yeah,
when
so
we will actually have
one thing you
more
can do
trouble.
is you can directly copy the error and just Google, and usually you'll find an answer.
Yeah, the best debugging method for any program. So yeah, as we conclude our session on Introduction to LaTeX, where we learned how to program various text formatting, I would extend our hearty gratitude to Nithin for sharing his expertise on using LaTeX in a mellifluous presentation. Once we return to the institute, we would come across Nithin either in a department or on a badminton court. So feel free to catch him anywhere and clear your doubts. So going to the formal propose on vote of thanks, we would like to thank our GISA, Radhik Ram Mohan and IMR Shohini for their support with both ideas and resources. It would be unfair to mention the efforts of Ali, Parijat and our PGAC EM Pritha for a smooth session. Also my thanks to Rashmi for initiating the executing the idea of workshop on latex. In the end, I hope every participant is satisfied with the gains they made from this learning experience. Thank you all.
Um,
So,
I'd like to thank everyone.
Nithin, here is a certificate of appreciation.
Okay.
Wait. Just a minute.
Well, the lag in network takes away surprises.
Is my screen visible?
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Nithin, for accepting our request and then delivering a good.
Like to thank you for providing the opportunity and to all the organizers who struggled to set up the video conference.
Thank you, participants. I hope you had a wonderful experience. See you all in our next venture. Myself, Manu Krishna. Goodbye.
Bye bye. Thank you. Thank you.